Thank you. I'm the last speaker on, so I will try to keep you awake, I hope. And it is a brilliant team of speakers that I'm following, so I really feel the pressure now. I want to talk about going outside of our comfort zone and the growth potentials of challenging ourselves every day. I think when you look at this is my description of myself. When you look at it, I'm not the typical director within the shipping industry, by far. And I have no intentions to be one either. In the job that I have today, but also in the work that I've been doing for the past 6 years, I have been known as a rebel within the industry I'm in. I was hired for that fact and my ability to think differently, to bring something else to the table than the older men. And for the past 6 years, I have been in different roles. The first young board member, the first female board member. I am the mother of 2 little boys, aged 1 and 3, and I ran my own company for the past 4 years. And I brought my boys with me for a lot of work, conferences, meetings, and negotiations. So I was really happy to see, I saw there was a little boy here earlier. I think they have left now. But I actually think that is really important, that we actually break some of the silos between work life and family life, because it's not sustainable. We need to actually thrive as a working professional and a mom. I'm not going to talk so much more about the mother role now, because I think it has been covered very well. But I was really happy to see that here today, and I think that is the future, actually opening up more between family and business. In my role, I am the first female director, and I am the first director below 50. And of course, that means that you have to deliver at least twice as good as the men. Also, by choice, I've taken a very visible role in the industry, in media, doing presentation speeches, writing articles, and working a lot towards other younger professionals, because I think it is so important. And I would like to challenge all of you here today, when you have the opportunity, be visible, because the younger women, they need you to be visible. They need to see the role models. They need to see that this is something that others have done before them. Then it's not that scary. I think many times it's very easy to look at people's appearance, that we see from the outside others as strong and successful. But most of us, in fact, feel insecure. And there are always times when we lack confidence to push and pursue our dreams. And I just wanted to show you a little illustration of how I often actually feel on the inside, behind that facade. This is how I feel a lot of the time. I think every week I am afraid of something. And when I grew up, I was very shy. And I was even afraid when I first started my career in the office. I was even afraid to talk in team meetings. My voice would quiver, I would blush, my hands were shaking, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But the good thing about being afraid is that we can choose how we tackle those situations. And I came to realize that most people are not perfect. They are also insecure sometimes. But it's up to you and me and every one of us to actually choose how we deal with that insecurity. We can choose the easy way, just to stay within the comfort zone, not challenging ourselves, or we can go ahead and actually pursue and challenge fear. And I chose to accept the fact that I had these fears, and I acknowledged them, and then I chose to work on them. And every day, I try to make sure to step out of my own comfort zone. Because I think not that much good happens in a comfort zone. And of course, we are all different. What is outside our comfort zones differs from person to person. It can be on the physical aspects, it can be in a more professional setting. But in my case, I am scared of heights. So by choice, I have done a lot of things with actually challenging that fear of heights. Also, of course, as I mentioned, I'm terribly scared of standing in front of people and talking. So since 2009, I have been practicing as much as I have had the opportunity to do. And I think that tends to be, if I'm generalizing a little bit, you see that a lot of women and girls, I think it comes from a quite early stage that we are taught to be nice and patient and quiet and behave well, not take too much space. And what happens when we face these challenges and the fears? Well, we do like this. Okay. And one thing is to face the physical challenges and the physical boundaries of your comfort zone. But it also applies on the professional level. And training on this in your everyday life actually enables you to identify and choose differently when opportunities arise. Then you can connect with your gut feeling to make the right choices. For me, that meant that at the age of 16, I dropped out of school and I started working, which was, of course, not a very wise choice. Nobody do that in Norway anymore. Or a lot of guys actually drop out of high school after having started, but people actually start, at least. And it wasn't very well taken in the close community that I was in. It kind of worked out. Some years later, I had worked my way up within real estate industry, and I had a good, steady, well-paid job and a good title. And then I left it again to pursue a 6-month temping contract for a ship-owning company. And my father, he said, "Are you crazy? You can't do this." And I said, "Why? It seems exciting." "Yeah, but it's, you know, it's not safe. It's not secure. What will happen to you?" And so I said, "Well, I have the right feeling for this." Within me, I felt it was the right thing to do. And it challenged me a little bit extra. After having been there for 5 years and working my way up from being a personal assistant up to a global project manager, I felt a little bit too comfortable again. And I was sitting in the headquarters in Norway, and I wanted to travel, to go out and experience the world and get out of the headquarters bubble. But I didn't get the opportunity to do that. And of course I traveled, but it was on a shorter terms. So I chose to hand in my resignation and start my own company. And again, I got a lot of very well-meant advice. Also, the thing was, I wanted to see for myself before I got too grown up and too scared what I could do for myself. And I thought that if I fail, I have still learned something. There's a lot of good learning in failing. And I think we shouldn't be afraid to fail or to risk failing. And we should also allow others to fail as long as we learn from it. And as long as that is the mindset that we push the borders and the boundaries to see what happens. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Still we learn something. And of course, being quite a young woman in the shipping industry, which is still quite male-dominated, it wasn't specifically smooth sailing. I got a lot of warnings. They told me that I should rather, know my place, be patient, and for the more negative ones, they said, what on earth do you think that you can do? What is so special about you? Why do you think anyone will buy your services? So, of course, normally, I don't listen that much to others. I listen to good advice, and then I steer by my gut feeling. And I think that the key motivation all the time for me is to actually explore and to change within, to contribute in changing an industry, contribute towards a company, but actually being in an ever-changing modus, not being set. And I've also learned that the best challenges, the best opportunities that I can and should pursue are the ones that equally excites and scares me. So when I feel in my stomach there is like a knot, and I'm like, there, that means this is the right way to go. When I'm scared, because then I'm sharpened, and then I'm out of my comfort zone, and I can do good things. And I think being too comfortable, it slows our brains. We are not sharp. And in the times that we're living in now, with a world that is changing quicker than ever, a slow brain is not really good for innovation. So in order for us to come up with new ideas, to change, to build success, to deliver something, then we need to have the brain ticking. Also, another aspect. If we stay just inside the comfort zone, we become conform. We stick to what we know and what we can, and become defensive. We seek to confirm each other rather than challenging each other. And we become reactive rather than proactive. And as a leader, I think if you are in the reactive mode and actually are a little bit insecure, you will most probably surround yourself with people who confirm you. People who don't challenge you, but people who actually match and confirm your own abilities and thoughts. And you don't want to be challenged to the same extent. But in this very quickly changing world, we need to challenge each other from within. If we don't, in the companies, challenge each other from within, then we will fail when we hit the market. So I think that we need to value diversity, not only between gender, also between age, background, cultural differences, you name it. But we need diversity. We need, as I say, we need all the animals in the zoo. We can't just have elephants or just frogs or just zebras. We need to have the mix. And practicing to go outside of the comfort zone, it empowers us. We become more independent and secure because we actually prove to ourselves that, okay, so I stepped out of it, it went fine. It works, no problem. So you become more independent, you have the security, and you tackle your fears instead of living a life where fear control and limit you. And you also become more open, also for being challenged. And when we know ourselves on a deeper level, we become better people, I think, and also better leaders. Because we have the security in us that allows us to encourage our team and our colleagues to actively challenge us. And we also have the ability to transfer this actively to our teams, and thereby enabling our colleagues, both the younger ones and the older ones, to grow and to stretch towards new challenges, so that we together can build and deliver better results. And I think this is a motivation that goes far beyond any paycheck or bonus scheme, because it motivates us from within, rather than external, short-term motivation. And when we are in that kind of mode, we have the ability to be honest about our strengths and weaknesses, and then we can combine those, the different elements of our personalities, experiences, way of doing our work, to really build a good puzzle, and to combine this to the better of the company or organization. My theory is that the results begin at the end of your comfort zone, not within. And I would like to share a little challenge with all of you that you can think about through the cocktail reception and discuss tonight, maybe. If fear didn't stop me, I would. So what would you do? Where do you limit yourself? I think there are enough limitations out there in the world, so we should make sure that we don't limit ourselves. Thank you.